It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 a.m. And listen, today I want to try something a little bit different. If you have an old towel or old socks, or if you happen to have some gliding discs, we're going to be using the gliding discs for a little bit of mobility with my primary focus on the glutes. So you'll need an old towel that will slide easily on the floor, or an old pair of socks slides easily on the floor, depending on whether you have wood or depending on whether you have carpet. If you happen to have some discs, I have discs. Unfortunately, these are designed for carpet, but they're going to work. Old socks, old towels also work. I don't have an old towel right around here. So, all right, thanks for popping in. This is a quick, it'll be like 25 minutes with emphasis on abs, but also on glutes. We'll be doing bridging and we'll be doing some stuff for abs using the disc, something that glides easily. If you have old socks or an old towel, that works really well too. So thanks for joining me. It's Vivian. It's my pop-up Pilates, short and snappy. And I've got just a couple of focuses: core strengthening, a little bit of arm strengthening, because that's going to be the weight-bearing stabilization portion when the legs are moving on the discs. All right, don't worry, I'll choreograph the whole thing together and we're ready to go. It's important to start with a little bit of breathing. We got to get some oxygen down into the diaphragm, oxygen funneling through your brain. So let's do that now. Sit tall. You can even close your eyes and just listen to my voice. As you inhale through the nose, inflate. And as you exhale, think of, finding your deep and low abs. Inhale, inflate. And as you exhale, like a seatbelt, cinched around the waistline. Add some arms. Inhale, wake up. Exhale, lower your arms. One more time. Breathe in. Feel the lift. And as you exhale, bring the arms back behind you. Lace your fingers. I'm stretching my arms down, and I just felt my shoulder pop. That felt good. Tilting your head side to side. Release the arms in a simple side stretch. Awaken the side of your body, sometimes called the side seam. You know, the way your shirt has a seam, your body is sort of stitched together. You want to stretch it along the body's seam. Here we are, up and over. Get that tension out of your neck. And then I'm coming up. So in my first instance of using something that glides across, I'm going to start on this side. I'll go sideways. When I turn, my hand is on the gliding disc. Now, you don't have to have a disc. You know, this could be very much more artistic. You don't need a thing. But sweep your arm as far away as you can, like you're cleaning the windows and reaching for the far edge of the window. And then return. Again, like you're wiping the table, and it's a huge table, and you're trying to clean near the center of the table. And then finish, coming upright. I happen to have two discs, so I'll come over to this side, placing my hand on the disc or towel or whatever you've got, and take your time. Reach way out there, and then return. The head is low. I can't look at the camera now. I'm watching my arm reach out and then return upright. Silly as it was just an example. All right, I am folding my mat to do roll down and roll up. My mat is folded, not perfectly in half, but my rear end is right on the edge. Here is where you can have either one foot on each disc, which is going to allow you independent work. If you just have one towel or one disc or one paper plate, well, then you would put both of your feet on the one disc. Preference is 2. Try to ground your feet for now and round your way back. You want to be on the edge of the mat so that you can bring your feet in and it won't hit the mat. Let's roll up. When you're ready, rolling up. Now, you can grab the backs of your thighs. As you know, the first couple of roll ups and roll downs are for warming up purposes. Rounding back. Take that deep breath, core strengthening, blow and go. Feel free to use the feet there a little bit, right? Sliding, but ideally it's nice and heavy. In other words, don't kick your feet out in the air. As you exhale, I'm doing one more, sitting conveniently right at the end of my mat. When I roll up, I'll stretch the legs forward, which will just glide right out. Don't worry about your space. Reach and get that stretch. Coming back, come all the way back, all the way back, one vertebrae at a time. As you exhale, rolling up, abdominals, stretch forward again. My ankles are flexed. Don't worry about the equipment so much. Get your stretch. Come on back. Now, I'm only halfway back when I pause. You know we can rotate, which we'll do the simple rotation now. Rotate as you exhale. This time I'll be adjusting the legs. One knee bent, one leg straight. And then other side. I won't get too scientific, just keep moving. Here we are again. I'm parallel centered, alternating leg extension, one arm open, trunk rotation. As you exhale, inhale. As you exhale, inhale. One more. As you exhale, inhale. Slowly backward, backward slowly, rolling back. Here we go. Roll up. Reach forward, forward, forward. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Flex ankles if you want. And come on back. Last time, come to halfway. This is a C curve with scooped abdominals. Here I am. Rotate with leg extension. Rotate with leg extension. Inhale and use your exhale. You got one more. Come all the way back to the floor, all the way back, and then rolling up. Roll all the way up. That was my alarm clock reminding me. Oof, rolling all the way up. Oof. And so now we get to the hip strengthening stuff. So to minimize transition, come all the way back in slow motion. Bridging will be next. Bridging is a great exercise for hip strengthening. My suggestion is that your heel is capable of landing on the floor like brakes, and your forefoot, the ball of the foot and toes, would be on the slippery surface, whether it's a paper plate or an old towel or a pair of socks. So, as you exhale, bridging, the hips are up. You can push that disc and return. Other leg, push the disc and return. I'm using my heel as it lands on the floor as like brakes. It helps to secure me from sliding away accidentally. But if you've done this before and you've got good control, you may not need your heel so much to be your brakes. I'll do one more on each leg, trying to keep my hips up, activating my glutes and hamstrings. This is 8 total. I'm melting down. Close the front ribs and soften your landing. If I change the position of my foot, then it'll be a heavier heel dig, and I have to be very, very much more aware of not falling down. Here I go. Exhale, bridging. Oh, my hamstrings are on fire already. Leg number 1, push and return. Switch legs, push and return. You probably already know that most of your effort is on the return. So you can make it heavy and drag your heel in. Holy mackerel, your hamstrings and glutes are having a good time there. And this is my last leg. Melt down the center, close the ribs, control your feet. Yeah? So to amplify this, instead of alternating, we'll do one leg. Let's do 8 extensions on one leg. I am peeling up at the top of my bridge. I feel pretty good about this. Leg 1, pull. Same leg, push, pull. This is 3, pull. Keep those hips up. 4, whoo. 5, steady on the supporting leg. 6, confident on the moving leg. 7, and this will be number 8. Now, we're coming down. Come on down. Stay centered. Make some minor adjustments if necessary. Get ready mentally. Exhale and physically. Here you are. Arrive at your best bridge. Leg number 2. Push, return. Push, return. This is 3. Concentrate on the stationary leg. You're developing stamina, strength, a little perseverance, and some mental fortitude. This is 6. Yeah, I'm counting. This is 7. Oof. This will be number 8. Now, center yourself, melt down, relax those arms, and soften that landing. Now you can hug your knees into your chest. Wow. I want to do rolling like a ball, but I'm very aware that I'm on the end of my mat. So just get a few of these in. Arrive. Oh yeah, I am right on the edge. Let's straighten out those legs. All right, get serious here. Pull your chest up, not your chin. Yeah, arms overhead, arms wide, arms front, and then you can lower your legs down. Whew. I'm flipping over, but in the way that I'll bring my disc to the other end, and I'll need these for my toes. Here's where the arm strengthening will come in. You may want to have some padding here for your knees. You may want to have some padding here for your hands. And ideally, we've got the discs underneath the balls of the feet. Now before we begin, let's start with a cat and cow back stretch, limbering the spine, lengthening the neck, and contracting the deep abdominals. Continue to play around with your adjustment of the mat or your knees or your disc or whatever you're using. All right, I'm ready. As you know, I've got some pain in my wrist, so I'm on my knuckles. We'll start with bear claw. This means that my knees are off the floor, but only about 3 inches off the floor. One leg, like a test push and return. The other leg, test push and return. I'm calling it a test push because you may be making some adjustments. Feel free to make some adjustments to be sure your path is clear and that your intent is still in mind. Ooh, and that you are doing just one leg at a time. This will be my last leg, and then knees down. If you need to relax a moment, if you need to get off your wrist, if you need to fold your mat, if you need to go answer the phone, now is the time to go do that. This time, I'll begin in bear claw, which is on the balls of my feet, knees 3 inches off the floor. I could do both legs and return. Now the breathing, I would inhale, extend, exhale, return. Inhale, extend, and make it incredibly purposeful, like you know you're using your abs to return those legs. Here we go again. Notice my back is staying flat. I'm trying to maintain my bear claw or flat back position. Here's the last one. Press away, return to bear claw, and down. Again, rest by coming off of your hands as soon as you need to, and for as long as you need to. Next exercise is more plank to pike. I'll demonstrate it first on my hands, but as you know, plank to pike can be done with your forearms on the floor. So here is my plank, and here is my pike. Continue here. If you find this to be your best version, then continue. This can be done on forearms, but I always feel like my head is kind of in the way. Do what you can. Yeah, use your abs. I'm desperately trying not to let my head hit the floor. My elbows were narrower, I would not hit my head on the floor. This is the last one. And then I'll bend the knees so I can sit back, and I'm done with this section. So if you want to sit in child's pose, feel free to sit back in child's pose. Breathe, 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 breathe. Now, I'll do a little short section in side plank, making my mat very much 50%. I need only one disc. My forearm is at the end of my mat. and it's been doubled. I'll be off of my hip, but still on my knee in side plank. Now the tendency is to fall forward, and I often think raising the arm to the ceiling is really the best way to keep you aligned. It keeps you attentive. Now the leg that's on the disc is just going to sweep forward and then sweep back as far as you can. You might be kicking the couch. Your pets might be hopping over your leg, and we'll take all of that. This is to keep the leg low, ideally low, and just skimming across the floor. We'll do a few more of these. Maintain your alignment, stay open at the chest. Now, if you have enough room, this could get much more artistic and creative. Like I could draw circles. My circles can go in reverse. I'm hitting my mat, and so my circle is not very impressive. Once I'm done, I can lift my leg, and I'm still in my side plank on my knee. Here we go, just a few times, a couple of leg lifts, and then you can just come on down. Sitting in the mermaid position, briefly, stick a little stretch in here, and this will stretch this side of your body, which had been, the stationary side that was holding you in place. So, bending sideways as best you can. I'll be swinging around to the other side. So get yourself with your disc, forearm basically near the front edge so that the hip also has some padding. Once you get yourself and back, get as much range of motion as you can. Be sure to go back behind you. Clearly you can see it in front of you. And do your best, try not to let the leg be the heaviest thing on your body, but instead keep it light. Keep it light and right across the floor. We'll do one more here. And then I got into the silly stuff where I was doing some circles, and I did some reverse circles, a little Martha Graham, and then we went straight into a lift. And all of that was just to develop some stamina on this underside. My shoulders have to be strong, weight-bearing, and I have to be properly aligned to keep from falling. My leg is lifted. I don't have to do any more. I'm just waiting for time to keep ticking away. A tick, 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 boom. Come on down. We went to the mermaid position so that you can get a side stretch. This is the beginning of the stretch. And as you go over, this side is so much more accessible. And I'll do one more. Get as much stretch as you can and don't hold your breath. Up and over. And then return. I am going to lie face down. You'll need both of your discs. Face down. I'll just leave my mat folded, but I need plenty of room on the floor for my disc. Place your palms as flat as you can on your gliding toys, your apparatus, and begin with first pushing the arms forward. Now I'm going to keep my head down, so if you need to see this, I'll do it a couple of times. My arms go all the way out and all the way up to the front. My feet are open, a little bit wider than what would be the mat's width. My feet are open, legs are straight. When you're ready to join me, come on down and just think face down, long neck, and we're just going through the motions of the arms, kind of like making snow angels if you lie face down on some snow. Next time that my arms are beside me, like the letter T, I'm going to push onto the disc to lift my head and chest. I'll do it again. I'll be lifting the head and chest while using the strength of my arms and shoulders. Use the strength of your back, all of the muscles along the spine. Press down through the pelvis and use your arms. Well, you're going to end up using the arms minimally. Not too heavy on the arms. Here we go. I'm all the way up now. This feels good. Let's do one more. Arrive at the top and stay there. Are you really on your arms? Yeah, I've got some arm powers here. Shoulders down and then melt down. Ooh. This next direction is forward. And as I push my hands forward and pull my arms back, the motion of the spine is the same. Push forward, pull back. Each time, push forward, head down, and pull back. Remember to recruit deep at the glutes. Here we go. Forward, pulling those shoulders back. Let's do one more. Arrive at the top, your personal best. Stay for a moment, shoulders down, lengthen through the spine. Tighten the buttocks, inhale a little higher, and on the exhale, come on down. Oh, you don't need a disc, rest in child's pose. As you sit back in child's pose, stretch those arms out in front. Oh, yay. The next exercise will be sort of a plank, kind of a plank, and my knees are on the padded section. This is, my hands are going forward, but I will come down to my forearms. My forearms and elbows, but we won't stay here for long. Pull back and rise up. My hips are not all the way up and not back over the heels. In fact, as I said, it's like a quasi push-up. It is a tricep push-up. Do the best you can. It's tough. Exhale to launch, and you've pulled your arms underneath your shoulders. Slow motion, elbows bending, soften your landing. Don't crash. Keep the breathing, blow, pull back. This can be really tough on your back, so if you're having a hard time, you may want your hips to be further back. But let me tell you, when the hips are forward, that's the more pure version of the exercise. Here you are in like a cobra position. Use your exhale and pull yourself back. I can do one more. Bring your hips, bring your body with you, elbows down, soft landing. Exhale, pull. Oh, that was great. I'm going to thread the needle, and I could use the disc and push the disc away. Once your head has landed on the floor, raise your arm up. You want to do some circles? You can do some circles. Or keep the hand on the floor, pushing the floor away as if you wanted to see what was up at that ceiling. What did you see? What is that? Like you're looking up at the ceiling. And then return. I'm flipping my body to the other side. You can stay where you are. Thread the needle. On the other side, head down. My first version, the arm was at the ceiling, reaching like an antenna, forever lengthening. All of those sections of the antenna pulled all the way up, 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 circling. Or hand on the floor. Create some resistance and satisfy your curiosity. What is on the ceiling over there? Huh? Oh. Whew. And then come on back. All the way down. Last exercise here, face down, but with no equipment. It's not necessary. Let's do the slow motion, one arm, one leg, just to get some more back strengthening, which is simple with no equipment. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Just 4 more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we can do a push-up for the child's pose. Sit with your hips relatively high. Keep the arms straight and pull your body weight back. Your palms will be sufficiently sticky, tacky enough that you don't fall back on your heels. Just pull. Then if you shift to one side or shift to the other side, you can nuance the stretching through the armpits. Stay low, stay active. We use the word dynamic. In other words, try not to be too static, stuck, or still. All right, come on up. We've got to get a little bit leg stretch because we did the hamstring stuff. Let me turn a little sideways. My feet are open about as wide as the mat, and this is trunk rotation where we turn. This is the saw when we reach to the foot, but we're going to stay for the stretch. Hold on. Using your hands, hold either the ankle or your foot and bring your head down, all the while rotating your body. So stretch as you come down. Don't hold your breath. Come on up. I am first rotating. Aim on the outside of the foot. Hold on to what you got. Keep melting, keep exhaling, and keep turning your body. And return. And now with no stopping, come with me for 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1. On the other side here, pulsing. 3, 2, 1. Coming to center and down in front. Head forward. Reach, reach, reach. Rest, arms down, stretch out the low back. Come back slowly, stacking the vertebrae. Be sure you arrive straight up and as tall as you can. Go again. Nod your head down, reaching forward, spine stretch, then keep going. You're getting some hip and hamstring stretch. Arms down, hold on to your feet or the mat or your pants, but don't hold your breath. And come on down. All the way up to the seated position. I'm turning just at a slight angle and bringing one leg over. Anchor that foot down on the floor as best you can. I've seen this twist stretch done with the arm wrapped around the leg, but I've also seen it with the arm slicing on the outside of that thigh. Do what you need to do to get the best stretch. Here is a stretch along the spinal column. Oof. That's where I feel it. Oh, God. And then center yourself and cradle your leg. When you bend that knee and the foot is flat, you can bring your hips forward and sit up, or just bring your foot closer and sit up. And oh my, you'll get the stretch in all the various muscles there of your hip socket. Try not to slouch in this position. Instead, bring the chest forward and bring your head with you. Ooh, I'm afraid to let go. All right, I'm going to do one more time. Here we go. Ooh. All right, so you can shake it out. Shake it out. Here's the other leg, crossing over. Now both butt bones should remain on the floor. I'm sitting up nice and tall and slicing my arm down. Ooh, I can get tighter and tighter in this twist. Be sure you're exhaling. Exhaling as you go. Blow, rotate. When you untwist yourself, you can bend that other knee. For some people, this is enough of a stretch. I am going to magnify that, bring my hips a little closer to that bottom foot. I brought my hips a little closer to the bottom foot, or you could just as easily bring the bottom foot closer to your hips. Don't lose focus though. I've come too close. I'm too tight. Oh, there we go. I can lift my chest and not slouch and get the best stretch through my hip. Are you breathing? All right, come on up to seated. Let's face the front and press the soles of your feet together. This is often called the butterfly stretch. Hold on to your feet or your ankles, but not your toes, and come forward. Bring your head with you. Avoid looking up at the camera. Continue to melt and sink. Ooh, ah, ah. For each moment that passes and each breath cycle, my hips are surrendering to gravity. I'm able to sink a little deeper. Feel it. And then come on up. All right, sit up nice and tall. Pull those shoulders back. Fix your clothing. Fix your glasses. Fix your hair. And then take a deep breath with me. Inhale. And as you exhale, so you got a teeny tiny little workout. We use the discs, something I hadn't used before, but I have them. You can always substitute with paper plates or an old towel or an old pair of socks. Hopefully that worked for you. This will conclude your short and snappy Pilates today with emphasis on hip strengthening, shoulder strengthening, core strengthening, which was all done using the disc. Sometimes we were mobile and sometimes we were stable. You want to know more about that? Ask me questions on the comment line. I'll definitely give you some answers. All right, it's Vivian signing off. Tomorrow is foam roller-rama. Got a roller? Come to class. See you then.